Yesterday's meeting of the Council of Ministers has decided to hold the local elections at one go on 13th of May. The government has come up with a date following consultations with the Election Commission. Prior to this, the government and the Apex Election Authority had appeared to be at sharp contrasts in relation to the local level elections. Good morning, I am Bipashna Tamang and these are the headlines of the hour. The meeting of the Council of Ministers decides to hold the local elections on 13th of May. Election Commission begins preparations, security plans being formulated for the polls. Several projects of national interest stranded as meeting of the National Development Action Committee remains to be held. US President Joe Biden vows to shut down a key Russian gas pipeline to Germany if Moscow invades Ukraine. French President Macron and Russian President Putin hold a meeting. And Senegal's football team that won the Africa Cup of Nations for the first time receives a hero's welcome at home. The president meets and congratulates the team. The government has decided to hold the local level elections on 13th of May at one go. Yesterday's meeting of the Council of Ministers decided on the date for the local polls amidst uncertainty among the ruling parties. With yesterday's decision of the Cabinet to hold the local elections in a single phase on 13th of May, only 3 months and 5 days now remain for the elections of 753 local levels of the country. In a recent meeting, the Election Commission had recommended the Prime Minister to hold the local elections on 18th of May. As the election is to be held prior to the expiry of the term of the public representatives, the government has said that the contrasts seen in the Constitution and the laws have now been addressed. The term of the local levels is set to expire on 19th of May. The main opposition, CPN-UML, has also welcomed the government's declaration of the date for the local elections. Prior to this, the ruling coalition had appeared in favor of delaying the elections to serve its political interests. However, the Election Commission had made several urges to the government on holding the local elections at the earliest. Meanwhile, the Election Commission has shared the commitment of holding the local elections on the date specified by the government. The Commission will now proceed with updating the voters list and procurement of resources required for the elections, among other tasks. Following the declaration of the date for the local elections, the Apex Election Authority is to expedite its preparations. With the announcement of the poll date, the Election Commission will now apply brakes to the collection of voters. A list of 15.4 million voters had exercised their franchise in the previous election. The number of voters is expected to increase by 2 to 2.2 million for the upcoming elections. The Commission has already demanded 12 billion rupees from the government for the election. Meanwhile, in correspondence with all the 753 local levels, the Election Commission has asked them to present their requirements such as buildings, vehicles and furniture required for the elections by the end of this week. The Ministry of Home Affairs has begun forming security plans for the upcoming local level elections. A special term has been formed under the leadership of the ministry's Joint Secretary. Home Minister Balkrishna Khad last week had directed all 4 security bodies to formulate security plans for the elections. Nepal Police and Armed Police Force have begun preparations. The police have estimated around 99,000 temporary police personnel will be required to maintain security for the elections that will be conducted in a single phase. The Home Ministry has expedited tasks like inviting applications for temporary police personnel and for their management, among others. The ministry has said the elections can be expected to take place smoothly this time around, saying that there are no security challenges like from the Sikirat group and the Biplab outfit seen in the last elections. Capability of the federal and the provincial governments is being questioned because of the failure in ensuring adequate development expenditure in the 7 months of the ongoing fiscal year. However, the meeting of the Supreme Authority formed to address these issues, the National Development Action Committee or NDAC, has not been held since Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Deuba began his latest term as the Prime Minister. With development work stranded, the next meeting of the NDAC remains uncertain. 2 years ago, the government had come up with the plan to link Humla headquarters Simikot to the road network. However, the project has failed to achieve any progress. The Ministry of Physical Infrastructures had sought the involvement of Nepal Army for the use of explosives for the expansion of the road network in the hilly and mountainous regions. But the project is yet to make any progress as the meeting of the committee has not been held for a year. Similarly, the Ministry of Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation is looking forward to hold discussions at the committee in regard to the conversations on the air route with India for the Gautam Buddha International Airport and Pokhara Airport and the modality of Nishgarh International Airport. Other ministries are also looking forward to expedite their stranded projects through the meeting of the committee chaired by the Prime Minister. However, it is unfortunate that the Prime Minister, who has been spending hours for his party's sister organizations, is yet to prioritize entities like the NDAC to expedite projects of national interest. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And here's the question: what is the reason for the ineffectiveness of the mechanism formed to address issues in development works? Your options are option A, Prime Minister's indifference, option B, apathy towards development, and option C, lack of coordination. The voting is on. Type any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked the residents of several provinces what they think should be done to ease international trade. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
समस्याको समाधान गर्नको लागि चाहिँ नेपाल सरकारले चाहिँ भारत सरकारसँग कूटनीतिक पहल गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ।
भूपरिवेष्टित मुलुक भएको कारणले गर्दा यसको सचेत भई एउटा नियमन खोज्नु पर्छ।
हामीले चाहिँ जसरी आयात गर्छौं त्यही मात्रामा हामीले निर्यात गर्न सक्यो भने एउटा व्यापारको सन्तुलन मिल्छ पनि।
सीमानाकालाई व्यवस्थित गर्नु पर्यो।
It's time now for the sports news.
Sports news.
Dashrath Stadium is the only multi-purpose stadium in Nepal which meets international standards. However, the condition of the stadium is deteriorating by the day in the absence of regular repair and maintenance works. The grass turf of the stadium currently is in a sorry state. This piteous condition of the Dashrath Stadium is also hampering the development of Nepali football. We have more in this report.
The Martyrs Memorial A-Division League match between Chasal Youth Club and Nepal Police Club, slated for Saturday, had to be postponed. National Football Governing Body, the All Nepal Football Association, had to postpone the match as the surface was not fit for play because of incessant rainfall. With a tight schedule of football tournaments and other sporting events, the condition of the only stadium of the country meeting international standards is deteriorating every other day. Based on the international practice, a maximum of 2 football matches are played in a week at the stadiums, meeting the international requirements. Required care, repair and maintenance are performed immediately after completion of a match. However, the Dashrath Stadium shares a plight of its own as matches are played almost every day on its grass surface, while necessary care and repair works have forever been neglected. At a time when the rest of the world is embracing the use of modern stadiums with sound drainage system, facilities for clearing snow and ensuring green grass surface throughout the calendar, Nepal has been losing opportunities of hosting international matches and tournaments because of the sorry state of the Dashrath Stadium. Built in the year 1956, the Dashrath Stadium has been renovated twice, including before Nepal hosted the 13th South Asian Games in 2019. It is imperative for the stakeholders, including the government, to realize the need for an alternative stadium in the country and expedite construction works of other sporting venues meeting international standards as well.
That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.